In this video, you will learn more about the human side of data. What does this mean? Well, data has many effects on society and humanity. When we talk about the human side of data, we are talking about data ethics. Ethical consideration is needed when data are collected, analyzed, and managed because these decisions affect humans in multiple ways. Before jumping right into the ethics of data, let's go over the field of data analytics and how it relates to data science. Both inform the way we need to ethically think about data. Here is a definition of data analytics from Wikipedia. Data analytics refers to the discovery, interpretation, and communication of meaningful patterns in data. Data analytics is a multidisciplinary field that uses a variety of techniques to gain knowledge from data and analyze it. It may be helpful to think about how data analytics and data science relate to one another. While data analytics has a pretty well understood and agreed upon definition, data science is less easy to define at this point in time. Listed here are 3 different definitions of what data science is and how it relates to data analytics and data analysis. Let's specifically look at the 3rd definition. This states, data science spans a broader array of activities that involve applying principles for data collection, storage, integration, analysis, inference, communication, and ethics. This definition includes a lot of activities that are similar to data analytics, but also includes storage, inference, communication, and ethics. This definition explicitly acknowledges that ethics is a part of data science. It is also important to remember that data is big business. Think about the raw materials in data science and data analytics. Increasingly, in just doing business online these days, you are sort of that raw material in data. Data analytics relies on data from multiple sources, including data from people. This includes online interactions that collect your IP address and the geographic location you are using your computer at. If you have a smartphone, many of the apps and operating systems are sending data and metadata back to service providers and platforms, giving them more information about how you spend your time on the phone. This helps businesses refine their models and market development to make money. With data analytics relying on data from multiple sources, including people, let's think about how this could be done ethically. Currently, there are no standard code of ethics for data science or data analytics. While there are some being developed, we are not there yet. Also, this field is ever evolving as technologies continue to change, and also how we think about how to use data changes. As an evolving field, companies expect people who enter the workforce to bring new ideas and methods with them. This is especially true in data science and data analytics. As a data analyst or data scientist, you have the opportunity to ask questions that center people in the research design. You can ask yourself about the data collection methods. How do they matter to your own personal ethics? How do they matter to you professionally? Also, how do the data collection methods matter to your research design as well? By asking these questions, you can help center people in the research design process. When you think about the work that goes into data analytics or data science, you need to think about the activities that you must do to do that work. One could argue you should not need an ethics component articulated apart from everything else because it should underlie all of the foundational activities. For example, when looking at data collections, you want to look at ways to evaluate if data were collected in bias-minimized ways. This means there is no harm to the subject and there is transparency in that people are aware that their data is being used for a specific purpose. Another thing to check for is the documentation. While it is almost impossible to collect data without any type of bias, ask yourself, what biases are present? And ask yourself if they are noted in the documentation. This is an important way of applying evaluation to data collection to do your work as ethically as possible. The American Statistical Association, ASA, has created ethical guidelines for statistical practices. It states that good statistical practice is fundamentally based on transparent assumptions, reproducible results, and valid interpretations. This guideline lays out a series of behaviors that an ethical statistician should do. These guidelines were approved only in April 2018. The Association for Computing Machinery ACM recently updated their code of ethics in June 2018. This is the first update since 1992. Since 1992, so much has changed in regards to the internet and technology. This code of ethics includes sections that discuss privacy, bias, and integrity. Data-driven industries play an ever-rising role in our society. Clear issues arise when we do not center people in our decisions. Let's look at this quote from Safiya Umoja Noble. While we often think of terms such as big data and algorithms as being benign, neutral, or objective, they are anything but. The people who make these decisions hold all types of values, many of which openly promote racism, sexism, and false notions of meritocracy, which is well documented in studies of Silicon Valley and other tech corridors. When we do not center people at the forefront of our decisions in data analytics or data science, issues arise. Algorithms are opinions embedded in math because algorithms are created by people. So what types of issues are there? Well, there have been so many that there have been books specifically written about them. Because algorithms are written by people and people have biases, we end up with biased algorithms. When someone is doing a data analysis and pulling from different data sources and different data structures, if present, they determine what models to apply and either design an algorithm or fit an existing one. Each decision carries a value judgment. These decisions can amplify biases. It's important to understand how representative your data are so you do not amplify underrepresented or biased data through algorithmic use. Why does representative data matter? We are using data science or data analytics to solve problems and answer questions. Questions like, can we predict economic trends more accurately, or how do we direct aid more efficiently? These are all altruistic applications, but we can also use data-driven questions and answers to contribute to capitalistic efforts too. If our data are not accurate representations of society and we try to make society-level assumptions from our outputs, we could be using data to erase members of communities. As we live in what is known as the algorithm era, we have to gain a better understanding on how algorithms affect us. In 2017, the Pew Research Center released 7 key themes they found when asking the question, will the net overall effect of algorithms be positive for individuals or negative for individuals and society? Here is an outline of the 7 major themes they found in the responses. These themes are broken into inevitable algorithms, concerns, and societal changes. The themes identified under concerns are about the biases that exist, categorizations that could deepen divides, and human judgment is lost. A societal change is that there is a high need for algorithmic literacy so people understand what algorithms can and cannot do. This Scientific American article from late 2018 features Joanna Redden, the co-director of the Data Justice Lab at Cardiff University. This article explains how algorithmic systems, many of which could underpin many data analytic activities, may reinforce negative impacts on marginalized people. It is wildly complex, but governments and companies are increasingly relying on these huge data pools to extract meaning and automate processes. Removing human interaction from things like hospital bills or job applications can result in a loss of context and meaning that happen in conversation. As systems try to calculate risks and costs based on disparate data sources, additional biases can enter the system and compound corrupted data sets. We will finish this video with a cartoon from 2010. In this cartoon, we see that the issue of ethical behavior around data is a complex one. Businesses are using flawed ethical arguments to use customer data that benefit the company, but perhaps does not benefit the customer. By dehumanizing the customer data, you might forget that the data affects real people. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, reach out to me.